7 minimum. I would say 8 or even 9 would be ideal if they want to win this map. But again, they feel kind of like a dark horse because they played it once in the last like 2 months.
Yeah, they're less of a dark horse on Ancient than just a plain old underdog, I feel. But here we are back into the game so we can get this one kicked off. We can stop speculating and figure out what exactly is going to happen here on Ancient. Double dualies, Lake and Wolffe. They're a raid boss too. So that's the double dually purchase for Arcade and a flashbang. That's dropped over to Cyrix. Everybody on EG Glocks. A little bit of utility scattered around. Lake and Donut can ruin this push pretty quick here, but he's got to get the kills, and he gets nothing.
Double dualies necessitates no kit as well. That means this retake's going to have to be a quick and fiery one if they want to find success. Hex, though, catches Arcade. That's a 2-man advantage now secured. Sure, Wolffe still has those dualies, as we mentioned, but they have a lot to do if they want to get in this one. And actually, it looks like Unjustified are going to save their Kevlar for another day. Wolffe walking mid was maybe thinking about trying to find an exit, but he is swiftly reconsidering that. Never mind, he's out of the round. Walko double dinks him and puts him into the ground. The last two, 7 Cyrix, however you want to pronounce it, towards the middle /B. And Walko on this flank could catch them both. 10-second timer has started. And they'll take some damage. Seb, 1 taps 1 automatic hit for tap. Cyrix, the last alive with the dualies. She'll get caught from behind, and he is. The IGL doubles down. Hext, Junior, and Automatic all finding 1 as well. It's a good start for EG on their map pick.
It's a very good start for EG on their map pick. They just have to continue that streak. They cannot let things slip out of their hands. Just get the job done 1 map at a time. 1 round at a time, really, not 1 map at a time, because they only have 2 more maps if they want to win this series. They have this one and Mirage if they want to take it. If not, Unjustified will claim themselves victory. They got the hard part done with that first map on the board. And then comes the harder part. So nothing's ever easy when you're the underdog. Everything's difficult, slog. It's just gotta compartmentalize everything. Take it slow and steady. Like the tortoise versus the hare.
It's a good analogy. Unjustified. A 4 nade buy. Could really do in any sort of pop play, and they are leaning the right direction as well. All 5 Unjustified players are present towards B. These nades could be a very nasty rain on this parade. Instead, they'll just fight, though. The USP is good for 1. And damage onto a 2nd. The Junior drops Arcade. The nades at this point can't do anything. Too little, too late. Seb around the smoke should not be able to find anything to try to swing, and that's just Junior finding a free headshot. Last alive is Wolffe. He'll hear Junior, but he won't get the kill. Junior finding 3. Another hot start for him on this one. EG a 2nd. Justified. Their first rifle buy should be on the horizon now.
M4s, FAMAS, no kit. That's the operative, I think, here, Nate. No kit, lack of utility. Unjustified are going to have to do it with the gunfights and gunfights only. Galil's opposing them with 1 AK on automatic. Good amount of utility on that T side as well. Not exactly what you would consider to be a very clean situation for Unjustified. But hey, just starts with 1 kill. And it's almost a very similar start to what EG had on map number 1. Except it's Unjustified now in the O spot and EG with the rounds of the board.
Shoes on the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
Walk a mile in their shoes, and let me tell you, they got excellent arch support. How many more metaphors can we fit in? I'm all out, I'll be honest. Round's a very slow one. We got some time because EG, again, losing track of time and just biding, waiting, hoping that Unjustified get a little bit antsy.
Under the enchantment of Cersei, it seems, stuck on the island with no way out.
No utility, though. That makes this doable in the late stages.
Very. But the rotations are here. They're already clearing up Snake. This is a well-read play for Unjustified. They know what's coming. They just have to win the fights. Lake with a swing for 2. He only gets 1. The FAMAS lines up another. But Sirix has come through to bring it to a 3v2. Bomb will not be attempted to go down just yet. One coming in through main is Wolffe. Now Junior sticks it. He's running through, and Sirix through the smoke doesn't clear out. He's trying to stop the plant. That was his whole entire goal. Junior, though, plants in that smoke. Hex takes that dink. Junior shows! Messy spray from Wolffe, but it gets the job done. Hex 1 HP. Seb finishes it off. And unlike EG, Unjustified are able to break that early streak and get a much-needed round on the board. I do have to agree with you, Nate. I feel like Unjustified really do need at least 7 out of this half. I would say 8 or 9 really to give them a strong footing. This is a good start here, although they do let the bomb go down. They do take a lot of casualties. If they can win this next one, then they can start building.
I think 8 or 9 is where things become feasible. 7 is where you're desperate, but it's doable. It's the best way to put it. Op present for Junior. The buy for EG, though, is kind of all over the place. It is an investment, but there's a Galil and there's a P250 for Walco. Unjustified similarly making compromises, albeit not as desperate as the P250 Gambit. It's the MP9 for Arcade. An early lean towards B, which has already been contested by Sirix. Dink down onto Junior. Op player down. That gives it to the big brain IGL. Walco's at a decent start. The question is, can he actually op in CS2? So much damage from the MP9 of Arcade. He'll get caught, sure, but Jeorge and Automatic, both so incredibly low. That SMG doing so much up close.
That's what the SMG has to do. That's its job. And it was executed very well. Slow again from EG, Nate. They really like to take their sweet time, you know. Slow it down. Maybe sit down, read a book. Then they'll get going again. Maybe they even stop for snacks. You never know. Because look how it's still lay there even after the smokes go down. Seb's timing that take well. And EG's just lollygagging. Lake and Wolffe will get the extremity kills, and the bomb plan not yet coming through. 2 left for EG. Automatic low HP has the op in hand. He's still stuck towards ramp, and flashes will not be there. There's no utility for Unjustified. It's going to be dry fights all the way. Good swing on to Automatic. They know where Hex is too. Don't line up, Unjustified. You got to go together. Lake will be the first one in and the only one required. Diffuse comes through, and we're tied at 2.
Big second round, keeping 3 alive, recovering the op with full rifles otherwise. Things are looking good for Unjustified in the early goings. EG, though, do well to get a bomb plant that will supplement to their economy. They'll still have to half buy in this one, but consistent bomb plants is the key to staying in it as a T side.
No money now for EG. Double Deegs, double Glocks, P250. And there's an easy pick for Sirix.
The second pick to come down on that top box player. Happened to Junior when he had the op a couple rounds prior. I think it was Sirix with an M4 that did him in that time as well. Deagle's on the extremities as well. The next to challenge. Arcade finds 1. Second, and Walco has not gone down. Still taking damage.
That's a nice peak for Walco to take down, and that's an upgrade to an AK for Automatic to use. No armor on any of these last 3, but if there is a player you want to have on the rifle, it might just be the former major winner, however. Wolffe deals with that threat. Junior and Walco, the last alive, stuck out in middle. Wolffe takes a peek out, spots ahead. A little bit messy, but that is what CS2 is like these days, and converts the last spray. A little bit low on health, but All's well that ends well. Unjustified up 3-2 now. Buying forth coming from EG. That op in Sirix's hands, op duel against Junior will not be happening because Junior has nothing but an AK. Good amount of utility, sure, but no rifle, no op. I mean, does have the rifle, the automatic rifle, not the bolt action.
I'd rather see full AKs on T-side Ancient, even in CSGO.
Agreed.
Stand by
Same.
it. I think we've said it ad nauseum because we've seen this map every dang series in CS2. This is definitely a rifler's T-side, not an opper's. Just too hard with the variety of angles you face. Early duels towards the middle. No outright commitment from EG, although they do have control given to them at this stage. Seb, though, making up for it elsewhere. Pushing down ramp, he walks into the angle. Good shot from Junior. Holding passively from the double doors, he'll find one. He has the bomb on his back, though, so he needs to be careful. Wide swing and through the door, he'll find Arcade. That's 2 kills and a complete inroad towards B. There's still one defender here in Wolffe, but he has no utility. Does not have a lot of control either. No support from Lake either. EG, though, again, just biding their time, playing slow. Could come to bite them if they wait too long.
Lake needs this kill and needs it bad. Headshot, clean. There's still a lot more work to do for Unjustified here. Ooh, ugly fight for Sirix. He gets caught on the move, and that's going to open up the floodgates for EG. A wide open A site and a segmented 2-man defense. No presence whatsoever from the CTs on A, and it's going to be a Walt to the bomb planned for Evil Geniuses. A tie ball game at 3, most likely, as it would be foolhardy to attempt a retake here now if you are the CTs, and their money's not in a great shape either, so they need to save these 2 guns and save them bad. I don't think they're going to get the op back for Sirix either. And Nate, Junior, he didn't have the op. It worked better for him with an AK.
Yes, it did. I want to say as well, it seems like EG go for this early aggression as a unit, and they just kind of stall. But the concerning thing to me is they stall and then just hold alone. They have a player in red doors that's totally expected. They have a player A main that begins his probe alone after the CT side is reset. Jeorge is lucky that he catches the opera in rotation. He's lucky he catches them going for information, because if he peeks a second earlier or in a little bit later, he might just swing right into an op already posted on the angle. So it feels like EG are playing a very, I don't call it 50-50, but like segmented, very individual T side that's definitely exploitable if Unjustified can get the read.
This is a good time for a timeout from Unjustified too, because I think they also feel the importance of this CT side. They know how many people, or how many rounds rather, they need to get on the board, and it just seems to me that if they fall down here, not only are they broken, it's 5-3, 6-3 possibly, and then it's just the end of the road. They need everything out of this half, and they haven't had enough to start it off with. And
as we said,
there has to be a drop for Seb, surely.
There has to be. Sirix spot on op. Did Arcade save a rifle? If he did, he might have dropped one. If not, Wolffe did. There should be a gun on the ground. As we mentioned, 7 absolute minimum. 8 or 9 is ideal. Or realistic. That would give them an opportunity. They need the pistol, but it would make it possible. The pressure is on. Can't lose more than 1 or 2 more rounds Unjustified, and EG might just be getting the ball rolling. Smoke towards the middle, but no spam from Lake. There it is, finally. It won't hit its mark. I'll go to sidestep that instead and go towards Donut, which has been completely abandoned, might I add. Seems like EG are making the right read as they lean heavily towards A. Arcade will try to fight his way in. Through the smoke, he'll spam 1, but he takes a lot of damage in return. He can't make any inroads into the actual site. Unjustified smoked out. Will have to posture for a retake. And while they do have kits and utility, it's going to be a very bloody battle to get back into it.
They honestly have to. Not anymore. Don't go for it now. With 5 alive, they had a good opportunity. 4, it's saving time. And I think now, Nate, that puts us on the fast track to map 3. EG are in their groove. They're in their stride. The CT side is not up to snuff right now from Unjustified, and I don't think their T side's going to be able to pull it off.
I agree. Again, this is a CT-sided map for both of these teams. It's pretty even. It's not even pretty even. It's kind of even for EG. 53.5 CT, 46.1 T. But it's very, very lopsided for Unjustified, who only have a 32.2% win percentage of T-side rounds. That's less than 1 in 3. And that's against normal opponents, might add. That's not against teams of EG's caliber. It's a solid investment, though, for Unjustified. They did save most of those weapons, as you mentioned. EG, though, with their confidence, are going to aggress in middle voraciously. Automatic taking point does a lot of damage. Throws a nade. Doesn't quite get the second, though. He was left on an island. He had no support. I think his teammate might have been mollied off. And Cyrix segments the A-site take as well, catching Jeorge, leaving just Walko try and take control. Hex in smoke is going to try to find some way back into this, but he's not even going to commit. Junior tagged down to 42 on his own op, coming out of A main. Bombs have to be planted, and EG are being picked apart. A sudden resurgence from Unjustified leaves just Junior and Walko on A and up the creek without a paddle.
It feels like this 8 defense has essentially been X player getting left up a creek without a paddle. And this time it's EG's turn to experience it. It's a very good shutdown from Unjustified. They flip the cards, the timeout works, does what exactly it needed to do. And there's the op striking. Junior can't get anything done there. He's stuck. And now, what's the adjustment from EG? Because, yeah, overconfidence has bred to a bit of complacency. Still, they're in a good spot financially and on the rounds, on the scoreboard. Unjustified are still shaky. They're still unsure. They're still unconfirmed. There's opportunities for EG to really establish the stranglehold, tighten that vice. Junior going back to that op on T-side Ancient too. That is something that neither you nor I are the biggest fan of in general. But Junior has to make it work now. And yeah, look at this read from EG. And look at the read from Unjustified in response. Oh!
Finally winning that duel, though.
Nice.
That's different. We've seen that duel lost twice by EG. This time it's one. Seb, though, in the corner is unexpected. He has support from the caves as well. And while Hex will find Arcade, Seb will double down. And Wolffe's here to support as well. Good damage done. Seb swinging out on a limb. Finds a third to add to the cap. 3 kills in the round. Lake on the flake. Finds Junior, the opper. That leaves automatic. Tim. He was lurking towards A. We always have an A-site lurk. Normally it's been Jeorge, but this time it's automatic. And it has to be expected at this stage. Time since the last opponent was taken down has been so long. They have to know he can be anywhere. Seems like Seb is just holding the cross from the cubby. Lake has cleared a snake. He's cleared towards T spawn. Should have a very firm read of this one, Unjustified.
Just got to win 3 more, Nate. That's all they have to do. It's just a trifle of a result, right? They only got to make it a grand total of 5 in a row to close at the half. Easy pickings. This round should be easy for Unjustified. Just the Glocks against them. But the next 2, that's where the going gets tough. 7 bare minimum for Unjustified out of the CT side. 8 is where they'd like to sit. Can they achieve it? It's going to be a weird road. And this round notwithstanding, they have the op marooned alone on A. That seems like a recipe for a problem. Not quite disaster, but for a problem.
Yeah, alone on A against pistols is scary. Luckily, they aren't forcing the issue. But EG are reading into it. They're slowly stomping around.
There's been so many rounds where it's just crawling through molasses in wintertime.
They finally come.
Not moving.
Cyrex is going to stick around. He's not going to jump in, and that's the overwhelming force we were expecting, that we were worried about. Lake from Donut will try to ease the issues, but no, Junior's got his special weapon. Seb, I believe on a longer flank. No, actually, long range from spawn finds one. He's stabbed in the back, though. Jeorge through Temple finds one, tags down Wolffe as well. Wolffe ties it up, sure. This can still go either direction. Plant is going down, automatic, getting the bomb to dirt, starting the timer, lighting a fire under the butts of Unjustified, and both players are smoked in and stuck in towards Donut. AK and M4 versus Op and AK. One player lit on both teams. Junior on the Op. Oh, a middle of the open hold, a very audacious call that is expected or at least punished. It leaves automatic on full HP, the veteran of the squad. Against two. He tries to swing, but the aim punch is so punishing. Arcade takes him down by virtue of the Kevlar, but that round should not have gotten that close.
Should not have gotten that close, but that's what happens when you leave an op alone on a site. Especially against pistols. Their whole MO is swarm tactics. It's the Zerg from StarCraft. And that's what happened to Cyrex. He got the one kill. What's he going to do for a second or a third? He can swap to the sidearm, maybe get one more, but he's pretty much marooned, alone, no way out. He's got to fight his way through, do what damage he can, and go down in a holy moly blaze of glory. That's a good pick from automatic. Good little smoke destruction and good tap.
Automatic had a slow start. I think the Glocks are what I'm going to liken to a baby bear. If there's one, there's going to be four more.
Maybe
Always a
mama
mother
bear,
lurking
too.
on the corner. Yeah, the four pistols are the metaphorical mama bear in this situation, and they're not going to back down when their cub goes into a dangerous situation.
Yep.
4 versus 4 secured. Op this time is in towards caves, and it does find one around the smoke. Arcade also dropping Junior. Things looking up for Unjustified. We said 8 would be ideal. They're going to be one round away from that, assuming they convert this 4 versus 2.
Jeorge going to do what he can to fight his way out here. Nothing. Arcade gets the kill. Flash might have pumped, but it was a little too late. Nice finish from Wolffe. There's that 7th for Unjustified. Now, Nate, this becomes scary for EG. Unjustified is leading into that 8th round, potentially, that we said kind of was that winning number for them. And that statistic, though, of a 32.2% T-set win rate is something I cannot get out of my mind.
It's haunting. Again, it puts a lot of pressure on that pistol round for me. Now, granted, some of those stats are from CSGO. It's important to note. But 32.2 or thereabouts is an abysmal scoreline to have on any map. Unjustified. Heavily advantaged in riflery in this one. Arcade wins the opening versus automatic as well. He's just not had a solid performance on this map. It's unfortunate. Lake in towards Donut's going to harass before the plant goes down. Just Mac 10s and Galils. No utility. Actually, one smoke, excuse me, remaining for EG as they get the bomb to dirt. Unjustified looking to mount this retake. Keep in mind, it's the last round of the half. Bomb is ticking away, but Unjustified know they have time to work with.
Only about half the clock, though. They're going to have to hurry. Molotov fades. Lake goes out first. Doesn't see anything but Cyrex with the one. Hex trades it back, and Junior from a main will pop another one. Wolffe sprays for a pair. They know where Junior is, too. He falls to Wolffe on the bomb with the kit. Unjustified have grabbed their 8th. Can they take this 2-0? Find out after the break.
We said 8 to 9 was the bar for Unjustified on their CT side. They achieved the lower of those two numbers. The question is, can they finish it out on their T side? It's their statistically far and away lagging side. Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. Unjustified on the T side of Ancient. Pistol round. No dualies to be seen for either team, but there is a kit smoke for Junior, and there is utility and a P250 Super Soldier for Unjustified. A walk through middle will end in a play towards B. X is the only one here playing retake, trying to spot the cross, but to no avail. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 post plant, and as we know, these are ugly and bitter battles in a full server.
Yeah, it's just like Vertigo, classic pistol 5v5 retake, except it's on Ancient, and Glocks up close and personal around the cube are never something easy to deal with. It's also hard to clear them out of cave. Just the Glocks up close and personal in general, you don't want to deal with it on a pistol, but they're going to run all in. That's a nice pair of headshots from Hex and Walco. Cyrix with one more, looking for more damage. Cyrix with 2, make it 3 on the round. He's still alive. Oh, Junior 1v1 now. Lake in the cave. P250. Here's the smoke, spots the shadow, spams away, but Junior's not enough time. I think it's gone. It's tick, tick, boom. No!
Got it. I thought I heard the sound of the defuse.
Same.
And there's no pop-up to tell me how close it was. This is so sad.
5
That was, yeah, honestly, yes. Maybe a little more.
That's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, but required, I would say. As I said, very difficult T side. Pistol round still felt like not completely necessary, but definitely a big boon for Unjustified. And given the economy being unchanged and the round count being changed, pistol rounds have a bigger and bigger effect on the game. Unjustified seemed near guaranteed to get a 10th. And from there, it's only 3 rounds separating them from victory and a 2-0 victory in the series by extension.
Yeah, they just 2-0'd Party Astronauts, so EG's kind of another one up on the ringer, and that would be a massive W from Unjustified. And I think that would spike their power ranking on the Dust 2 US power rankings if that comes to fruition for next month. Lake, though, line up easy peasy for 2. Continues the spray, grabs. Actually, it was Jeorge with the second one. Lake with the third, Jeorge with the fourth, and Wolffe with the 5th. A little more excitement than should have happened.
Yeah, a little bit crazy. That's how it is when the pistols group up. 10-4 secure. That was an expected 10th, though. EG have to put their foot down now. There's no 0-4 start like we saw in Vertigo. If we have an outcome like that here in the second half, it's going to be 12-4. They have to win this rifle round. They have to win multiple in a row at that to really get back into this one. They're trailing by 6. We do have a pause called. It appears to be a technical issue, or an oopsie as we like to call them. Technical and tactical do sound too alike. But we do get an interesting glimpse into the buys here. We get 3 Galils, 2 AKs, good utility, versus M4s, FAMASs, and the Scout for Automatic. Again, I hate singling out players, but Automatic's had a very slow start. Jeorge as well is only at 5. It's been very difficult for those 2 players.
Yeah, it's not been good for those 2. And of all the players on EG you don't want to see at the bottom of the scoreboard, Automatic is one of them. The other, I mean, Jeorge, you could see him at 3-4. You know, that's fine. Because you want Hex Jr. and Automatic doing the bulk of your killing, since Jeorge plays a much more supportive role. But you do not want Automatic with that kind of a rough performance. No. That is incredibly concerning, for one. And for 2, we got our match medic, so we're getting back into it.
Yeah, if there's anyone you want to be at the bottom, it's not Automatic. It's not your veteran.
Yeah,
your veteran should be the consistent one.
It's not your major winner.
When you can't think of something to call him, you call him the major winner. It's a nice gimme.
I mean, he was
the
brightest star for NA for a minute. Then he went to Cloud9, and we're not live again.
Yeah, we're definitely not live. I was going to say, maybe they're going back to lineup nades, but I doubt it. And this seals it. Definitely not live.
Yeah, this one's going to take a minute, I guess.
Much like the start of the map, you're going to have some growing pains. Again, it is CS2. Things have been crazy, I heard earlier in the day, for ECL and EU. It was far worse than we have it now, so I'm still counting my lucky stars. But of course, hopefully things will be starting sooner rather than later. Again, a lot on the line here. 10-4 is the score for those of you keeping track at home. 3 rounds separating Unjustified from a 2-0 victory. And while the scalps of Party Astronauts is a pretty big deal, I would say the scalps of EG is a far greater one in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's levels here. Party Astronauts, they're good. Yes. EG, top 4 in North America. I would say after Unjustified, I would put EG around 4. But that's still a very good placement, considering complexities in the playoffs of IEM Sydney. They actually play, I want to say it's close to midnight Central Time tonight against BetBoom, and that'll be a good one. Hopefully, Complexity could win that. Yeah,
probably
they play tonight.
Yeah, it's Australian time, which is really messed up for Americans.
It's EU's having some trouble with it too, but the Aussie crowd deserves an event. The Aussies deserve an IEM for sure.
They do. The time just definitely throws me off.
Yeah. But then you have M80, Nouns, which Nouns have beaten EG in 5 consecutive series.
Yep.
And then you have EG. I think that rounds out a pretty clear-cut top 4 in NA, with EG being at the bottom of that. Unjustified come into CS2 as, they're ECL, but they're towards the bottom of ECL. They're one of those teams that they can scrap away, maybe stave off relegation. But PA, EG, back-to-back 2-0s, that makes them a serious threat.
Yes, it does. And you mentioned M80 as one of those top 3 or 4 teams. I haven't seen a lot of M80 at all recently.
They're kind of playing in EU right now, and they're winning.
They're in EU, right? Yeah, they are winning.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they just took down Anonymous 2-1.
Okay, yeah, they're winning. They're winning. Never mind. They're definitely winning. Haven't seen much of them in NA, in ECL. That's because they're busy otherwise elsewhere in a stronger region, I dare say, and finding success, as you mentioned. We're finally back into the action, ladies and gentlemen. The technical issues have subsided, have been abated, and we do have a buy very similar to what we saw earlier, but we do not have a scout for automatic. We do have an M4 instead. 4 M4s and a FAMAS versus 3 Galils and 2 AKs. Early damage exchanged, passive hold from Unjustified. Some players towards Snake and some outside of middle. For the most part, they're just waiting for EG to make a move.
Yeah, it's a much better thing to have the M4 than the Scout in this situation. Well, really, in most situations. And Walco can't get out of that Snake situation. Sirix picks up Hext as well. 2 kills, no response whatsoever from EG. This mid control wasn't even really taken after that either. They just drop a smoke and back off. That's a really nice little bit of work from Unjustified's rifles, leaving automatic Jeorge and Junior to try and salvage the pieces of a broken round. B is relatively undefended, but it's a good lean from EG to get 2 of their 3 players over towards the B side of things, with Jeorge going in towards Q. Junior in towards Jaguar, Deep Jaguar, all this utility coming in. They just got to take the 1v1 against Jeorge here, get the bomb down. Sep wins it without falling. Junior won around that smoke. And Arcade watching the flanky. This is such a good post plan from Unjustified. They are looking perfect here. And there's no response from EG. Great presence there onto Junior.
Automatic's the last down. He's unexpected. He slipped the gap, but can he actually pull off the 1 versus 4? As we mentioned, he had a slow start. He gets 1. Can't reset the spray, though, against Wolffe. Good trade from him. And as we mentioned, a slow start would spell disaster. And I dare say disaster has struck. 11-4. 2 rounds separate Unjustified from, I dare say, I'm going to take the free one, an Unjustified sweep in this series versus EG, a team that we've been singing the praises of as of late, with solid performances at the ESL Challenger Unjustified close qualifier for North America, otherwise in ECL as well. There's a very uncharacteristic fall from grace for them.
It is an incredible tumble from Mount Olympus. I won't even say it's Icarus flying too close to the sun here. It's just being an abandonment, a banishment. And Arcade has caught Hext, who's just jumping around in cave. He waltzes up onto site, strolling about. Bomb's going down. Wolfie's still in middle. EG's forced by with no response as of yet. Make it 2 for Arcade. Jumping with the MAC-10. Save call has to be here for EG. And Wolffe has just revealed another player. That spray gives him Jeorge's position. Backstab, upgraded gun. That's nice, but EG need more than nice. They're now down 8. 8 rounds of map and match point here as Arcade farms another. Lake takes down one more. All they can muster is potentially a FAMAS, and that's even just a potential because he's on the hunt. Lake is running through. Is automatic going to survive? He hears the footsteps. He's backed into a corner. He will get sprayed down by Lake. No survivors. Match point for Unjustified. 8 of them. They have dominated map 2, and they have woken up in CS2.
Another team coming alive off the back of CS2's release. And I am more than ready for it. I would love to see a tight and contentious ECL Season 46 now that CS2 is out in an actual playable form. Unjustified should have a relatively okay time putting this over the line. Good spam from Jeorge and a good trade from Automatic as well, but it's only a tenuous advantage. 3 versus 4, and Hext is still, actually Hext and Walco are both on compromised weapons, and both towards Cave as well with MP9s. Smoke tried to be thrown there, players get in front of it, but the MP9s still thrive. Trades come through, but it still leaves Arcade in a 1 versus 2. Junior and Automatic should play this together. They should have this round in their favor, but Arcade, okay, never mind. Automatic stays behind, holds the short lane, while his teammate holds the long. That's a free kill for Tim, who's starting to come alive. But EG, a monumental task still ahead of them. The economy of Unjustified still yet to be broken, and 7 rounds in a row required to get to overtime.
Another buy up from EG. This time with a lot more rifles around it. Of course, Unjustified can buy everything they need. Just need one more round. If they let it slip at this point, that would be an incredible relapse, but I feel like Unjustified have the confidence to get this one over the line right now. I don't have any lack of faith in them anymore. I think they've definitely proven themselves that Party Astronauts was not just a fluke.
Yeah, I think they're really punishing EG's kind of out solo style, out and alone. Not to mention the very slow play from EG as well. It's kind of been called out. Justified kind of just comfortable waiting.
Yeah. And I don't blame them either. It's like if the other team wants to play super slow, let them.
Good control from EG though in this round. 2 players up Snake. They've walled off Lake. We'll activate once the smoke subsides, but can he actually find an opening? That's a big question. Holding the smoke. Teammates have fallen back. They could go either direction Unjustified. It's all a question of where can they find inroads. EG falling back to sites now. Content with what they did. They still have this double up in towards Donut. If a play comes towards A, it could be blindsided by both those players.
Oh, timing. Unlucky for Arcade. Jeorge will capitalize. Hext will pick up Lake as well as the entry comes in on towards the A side. 3 players here. Automatic strikes again. Junior sprays. It's not enough for a kill, but it does force Seb away, but he does retain the bomb. No time, though. Save called for Unjustified. And EG will draw within 6. But it's still a very long road back. Much more confident round from EG, but still. One thing goes wrong and they're done. They put themselves in such a horrible position.
Yeah, they activated a little too late. It's encouraging to see them finally playing their own game, finally finding their footing. But they left themselves no rope. They lose one if Unjustified go for one of those very audacious, aggressive plays with Tech 9s like we saw in Vertigo. I think we saw 2 half-buy victories for them. We even see one of those, it's over. It's curtains. They win the series 2-0. EG need to go 1 round at a time, play your game, show us why this is a CT favored map for you, in your favor. Justified, though. Still have a solid buy. AKs, 1 Galil, 3 AKs, and an op. Junior as well has a big green at his disposal on the defense.
And there's a good start from Walco, aggressing in through cave. Peeks down to Snake, and Lake takes a dirt nap. Yeah, that sub 50% win rate for both of these two teams on T side. 46.1 for EG, 32.2 for Unjustified, although Unjustified have definitely skewed that statistic in a positive manner after this half. But EG, the CT side for them, 53.5% win rate. Such a long, arduous path to get back in.
And the hardest thing to chew on for EG is the fact they only had 1 rifle round before series point. That's when they finally got their second rifle round on the board. They lost the pistol, they lost the second, they had rifles in the third and lost it. Lost the fourth on a save, and then finally they can put their foot down with a second rifle round. That's not a lot of time to work with. And again, the round changes for Counter-Strike 2 really bearing their ugly head in this one. EG, though,
even the end of Vertigo looked like EG wasn't ready for it to end at 13.
Yeah.
Save call again for Unjustified.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was wondering what they were doing. If 15 seconds left, they're in T-spawn. It makes sense. But they don't have a lot of money to work with. They're going to have $0 from this round because of it. Wolffe now's giving away his position as well. Well, these players are hunting. I don't think they'll force the issue, EG. They'll be happy building up that economy, making sure they can have whatever they want in rounds going forward, should they lose a lot of players. But Unjustified are going to continue to force buy. They got a Galil on Lake. Arcade could go for the same, or Arcade could go for a Mac 10. We've seen some good Mac 10 play from Unjustified.
It's timeout time, man.
Would be a good time for a timeout, but Unjustified, we didn't see them use a single one on Vertigo.
No. They used one here on Ancient, but they could use another. There's 3 usable. Why not try it here and now? EG have adapted well, but more importantly, they're actually hitting their shots again. That's the biggest difference between EG for the first 17 rounds and EG for the last, 4. They're hitting shots. They're winning their gunfights. That's what they weren't doing for the entirety of that first half, aside from the first 6 rounds or so. And look at that! Junior still half blind, hits the shot onto peeking Cyrix. Probably aware somebody crossed, given that left-hand peek, and Walco down the ramp. That's an aggressive peek, and Hex has been spotted too. Lake is low, but he's got the solitary flashbang. No Shadow showing yet. There! Shadow gives him away, but he gets the dink onto Hex. Automatic needs to stand tall. He needs to wake up here. He's got 1, 2 more to face.
No support either. He's paranoid about it. Flank timing's everything, and Wolffe catches him looking the wrong direction. 3 versus 2 secured. Bomb hitting the dirt. Junior on the flank with the up. Might find what... Ooh, timing's everything. Seb, not a clean duel, though. It gives Junior a chance to rechamber, and Junior will not miss a second time, tying things up. It's do or die for EG. Junior and Jeorge, double J, left to entry. Jeorge falling without finding one, leaves the op in an unlikely clutch. 1 versus 2, back against the wall. He does have the kid at least, but they're grouped up. They should be impossible. He swings, he finds the first Arcade, no ammo left. He does some damage, but can't get the kill, and he's low. Junior through the wall, keeps the team alive, and we have yet to see an op clutch, and that was a critical juncture to find one from Junior.
Junior saves the day again for EG. Another 20 bomb performance from him, where his teammates are significantly away from his kill tally. Junior is single-handedly carrying EG right now. And he's clawing them back. Timeout called now by Unjustified. And Nate, you and I have both talked about this ad nauseum, about calling timeouts going into a full buy versus into a half or a save.
This might be a full buy.
It shouldn't be.
No, it's not.
Not with the round count.
Yeah. Rein it in. Make sure you have everything you could desire. They're going to go for pistols. and armor. Actually, Lake does go for a rifle. There's one hero rifle, and it looks like we are going to have tech problems.
Yay.
Hopefully they won't last too long. They
Thank
haven't
you,
thus far
CS2.
tonight. I was going to say, CS2 has done wonders for tech pauses.
It really has.
It feels like the match medics are quicker. It feels like players can more readily reconnect. While we have had some issues and some teething problems with CS2, I feel like the back end has been a much easier thing to navigate.
Yeah, the spaghetti code isn't bad. So we should be back in here pretty quick. Unjustified. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door, but they cannot get through the pearly gates, Nate.
No, they can't. Match medic in effect. Again, really quick and easy, it looks like. As you mentioned, Unjustified have been knocking on that door for, 4 rounds in a row now? Yet to actually get an answer. EG are beginning to make me believe they were down by 8. They need to win 8 in a row to get to overtime, and they have won 4 of those 8 thus far.
Yeah, they're halfway there, and they are most certainly living on a prayer. They've got a little more work to do. A lot more work to do. And somebody's got to help Junior out. He can't be the only guy doing all the work. He needs a friend. Somebody to be there with him.
Anyone as well. Everybody else has
matter.
been kind of lackluster, yeah.
Yeah. Just one person to step up. Because we all know the individuals on EG, every single one of them can have a moment. It's just no one's having a moment except for Junior, who's just consistently performing. That time he just gets unlucky, splits the goalposts there. And it's a bomb plant opportunity here for the T's. Junior he pushes forward because of the flames. He's burning alive. He somehow gets out of there, but not through into CT spawn. Bomb down, Lake 1 for 1. Jeorge takes a massive amount of damage off of that. Wolffe backs away. They're ready for him. They're going to double peek now. Wolffe will get traded. And it's all up to Seb. 1v3, 1v2. Low HP on Tim and Hext. Flashed in, they know where he is. No time for the defuse. They got to go for it. He got one more. Automatic's got the defuse, but this is a narrow margin for victory, especially the low investment. Timeouts make a difference, folks. Use them when you play yourselves. If you're playing it open, or I am advanced, main, whatnot, I believe registration is still open for season 47 as well. If you want to go ahead and over to Face It to sign up for that.
I will say, timeout did wonders, and also I said one random rush with pistols could get them across the line. Didn't quite work that time, but I rest my case. Definitely could have gotten there in a very, very narrow difference. Just one thing going wrong for EG would have been enough for that one to go the way of Unjustified. That plant as well will facilitate a full investment. AK's op, full utility. M4's op, your full utility as well for EG. 3 rounds and they will have overtime. 1 round and Unjustified will have the series in 2-0 fashion.
Overtime would be par for the course for how this one's gone. Unjustified definitely want that back-to-back 2-0. EG want anything but. And for all the fans at home, I wonder what you guys want. That's a good spray from Lake. Gets flashed, but he gets the spray anyways. Automatic goes hunting. He gets burned. The predator becomes the prey. Junior flamed away. 3 to defend. 5 to attack. Junior gets help from Jeorge with that first kill. Molotov forces him away. He's tagged. He's bagged. RK with a big one. Hex sprays wildly. He rings it in, but he's so low on health. These last 2 players. So what the? Did Lake see the top of Hex's head?
No chance. No chance. That smoke is
way.
guising everything. Raw awareness to find that kill. Leaves Jeorge, the A-site defender, the A-site anchor, in a 1 versus 3. 40 HP, bomb ticking away. To say this is a Herculean undertaking would be an understatement, and yet he has no alternative. He has to go for it. The bait and switch was there in case Cyrix missed the shot, and he did not. 13 Was it 8 or 9? 13-9 was
9.
the score in favor of Unjustified. It took them a while. They stumbled a bit. They lost, 5 in a row, but they got it across the line without overtime necessary, and they sweep a series